What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back with another video, and today we're going to be doing something different, something really fun. A lot of people are going to be thinking, what is this guy doing? This is a completely off-the-board type of video, but I love doing that here on Andrew Piluk Hockey. I love having fun making different styles of videos, and I make videos on just hockey, but I thought, why not make a video that ties hockey into the biggest game in the world, arguably right now, and that's Fortnite. Everybody's playing it. I am playing with family and friends, not as much as everyone else. I think that everybody plays this game. I'm terrible. I'm very bad at Fortnite. A lot of people can tell you that. Audie, my cousins, everybody will tell you I'm not very good. But I thought, why not make this video? I thought it'd be a lot of fun, and I'm gonna rank NHL players like Fortnite ranks their guns in Fortnite. So I'm gonna be giving like there's tiers in Fortnite, and you're gonna see it. I'm gonna put those NHL players in those tiers, like the legendary, epic. Let's get to that because I do have the graphics that I made for this video. I'm gonna explain it all, how I'm gonna go about this. But if you're new, make sure you like the video if you like it, and subscribe because I'd love to have more hockey conversations with you. Join the squad. Got a lot of videos being posted on here pretty much daily, so hopefully you'll stick around. But here's the first graphic that I'm putting up. As you can see, I made a nice little NHL Battle Royale graphic there with the puck and the logo, and then the Victory Royale, I put a Stanley Cup there. Thought it'd be pretty cool. So in Fortnite, the guns are ranked based on their rarity and stuff like that, and which guns are better. So obviously you have the legendary guns, the best guns that you can get basically in the game. So that's like the orange colored one. And when you go to pick up the guns in the game, you can see the colors pretty well. Then epic is purple, rare is blue, uncommon is green. And then you have common, which is the silver colored guns. So obviously the common guns, you find them often. And then the legendary, rare, epic type of guns, you don't find them as often. So I thought that it'd be cool to rank NHL players like that. Which players are, you know, you don't see these types of players every day in the NHL. And, you know, some other players that, you know, you find on most teams. You can, you know, you have a good mix of these players. And they're still good. Again, this is not a diss. Again, this is just part one. If I make more videos like this, there'll be much more players. There's a lot of great players that aren't going to be mentioned in this video because for each tier, I put 5 players. So I put 3 forwards, 1 defenseman, and a goalie. So I wanted to do it like that because I didn't want to get too long and dragged out. But please do not hate on the players that I selected. This is just for fun, and you might not agree with some of the players that I put in certain tiers, but it's just, I'll explain it, it's just for fun, and I thought that this would be a really cool idea to do, because again, it's just different. It's a different idea, so players I put in here are not, you know, it's just my opinion, and I think you guys will agree with some of them. So I figured we'll start with the common players. Now, these are the type of players that you'll find on a lot of NHL teams, maybe players that are good, but, you know, you can find these players a little bit more often, and some of these I'll have a little bit of an extra explanation for. And again, this does not mean the players are bad because I put them in common, and you can clearly see there's some really good talent there. I just wanted to put something and do something different. So the first guy I have there is Sean Monahan, a pretty good player. He'll score when you need him to. He's pretty reliable. Doesn't always play, and that's why I put him in the comment thing. He misses some games, but he's pretty reliable, good scorer. So I thought, okay, common, you know, you find a guy like that on pretty much every team. Then a guy like Lars Eller, a good role player. He's reliable. He will get you some goals. He'll get you some points. So again, that's the same thing as in Fortnite. These common guns, you could still, you know, you could still do pretty good damage with the common guns. It's just how you play, you use them, and that's the thing with Lars Eller. I think that he can be very successful, which he is, depending on where you put him. So I thought that'd be a good idea. Then I put Milan Lucic. Now, sometimes with the common gun, you don't always want to have those guns, and, you know, they're not as effective as you want them to be. So that's kind of like Milan Lucic. Still, sometimes they're very good. Sometimes the guns can be very good, and sometimes Lucic can be good. So I figured, hey, this makes sense. Mike Green, I put him on there because he is a very good point producer, not the best defensively, but, you know, he misses some games, but he is reliable every once in a while, and he does put up points. So again, much like the common guns and stuff like that in the game. And then I put Corey Schneider for the goaltender because he is pretty good. I do like Corey Schneider. He is very good when you need him to be. And I think that he is very useful. So that's what I put for the common ones. Again, if you disagree, this isn't to hate on the players or anything like that. I just thought it'd be a cool idea to do it like this. I got to keep saying that because I don't want people to get mad. I'm not saying they're bad players. I'm not saying they're at the bottom. This is just part one. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know. But let's go to uncommon. And as you can see, there's some more good players in this lineup as well. So I put a guy like Phil Kessel in there because, you know, sometimes he has some beef with coaches. I think it's a little bit overdrawn, but you know, when you get, you know, a green item in Fortnite, it's a little bit better. It does some more damage. It can really help you win games. And I think that Phil Kessel's like that. When he's at the top of his game, he's very effective. And it depends, you know, with Phil Kessel, he sometimes has a little bit of trouble when it comes to, you know, keeping his cool and maybe arguing with coaches. And, you know, some people would say conditioning, but I love the guy. I'm a big fan of Phil Kessel, and that's why I put him on the uncommon. Same thing with Stamkos. Gets injured a little bit, you know, he'll miss some games, but when he's at the top of his game, he's one of the best players in the NHL. And it's the same thing in Fortnite, I guess. If you get a gun that you think that you're using really well in the game, I'm not a big gun guy, and I'm not a big gun game type of guy, so don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to endorse gun games or anything like that, but you know, they work pretty well in Fortnite when you get a green gun. And I think Stamkos, when he's at the top of his game, much like those green items, sometimes you can do a lot of damage with them. Same thing with John Tavares. Basically the exact same thing. Very talented player. When he's at the top of his game, he's hard to beat. And when you're hitting shots with those green items in Fortnite, you know, it's hard to lose. Then I have Brent Burns, and I kind of used the uncommon thing because, you know, you don't see them everywhere. You don't see a face like that everywhere. Same thing with Phil Kessel. Those guys, they're not goofy looking, but they, you know, they're a little different from everybody else. So I kind of figured that would be a cool little, you know, fun little jab there to put. And I love Brent Burns. And again, same thing. When he's at the top of his game, tough to beat. And then I put Bobrovsky, a little bit of an unorthodox style, a little bit with Bobrovsky. And, you know, I don't want to diss him or anything like that, but in the playoffs, I guess you could say he was a little bit different. So, you know, it's up and down a little bit, but he is a fantastic goaltender, and he performs better than a lot of goaltenders in the entire NHL. So the next one I'm going to be doing is the rare tier in Fortnite. So as you can see, I've got, again, some better players in this now. So these are players, and again, this is mostly being based off of this last season. So if you see guys in there saying, oh my god, why is this guy not in there? It's mostly based off of this past season. And you'll see when I get to like the legendary tier and stuff like that, that I also made a couple exceptions for players that you should have in there regardless of this past season. So again, this is just for fun, but this is the rare tier. We got Nathan MacKinnon, who was out of this world, unbelievable for the Colorado Avalanche this year. When he is at the top of his game, the way he played this past season, you know, that guy is like, he can't miss. And sometimes with these rare items in Fortnite, it's like you can't miss, but with me, I miss every time. But that's besides the point. Nathan MacKinnon, unbelievable player. I think he's more of a rare style of player. I think that he's a great leader, a great captain, so I had to put him in there. Sorry, he's not a captain, obviously right now, but I think he's captain material. Then you've got a guy like Taylor Hall, who put up an unreal season this past year, leading the Devils. Beautiful, beautiful player. I bet the Oilers are very, very upset that they don't have a guy like this. He's a rare type of player. You don't want to give him up. Shout out to you, Shirelli, but you don't want to give up a guy like Taylor Hall, and you don't want to give up a gun that's a rare gun most of the time in Fortnite, so I got to give Taylor Hall the rare item here. Then you got Kopitar, who's rare because he is a great player. I wanted to put Bergeron here as well, and I kind of wish I did, but at the same time, Kopitar put up a lot of points, and he's also a defensive forward, much like Patrice Bergeron, but I think Kopitar is just a little bit better when it comes to the offense, so I put him there because he's rare. He likes to play you know, a 200-foot game. He likes to play back and forth. Great, great player, and I thought Kopitar would make sense in this tier. Then you got a guy like Carlson, who is just out of this world, unbelievable when it comes to putting up points. Not the greatest defensively, and sometimes the rare guns, you will find your little tweaks and stuff like that, much like Carlson, you know, defensively, maybe not the greatest, but when you do have his offensive abilities, and when you do have those rare guns, those rare items, you know, they're almost like they can't miss, much like Carlson, so I had to put him in there. Then I have Andrei Vasilevsky for the goaltender in this tier. This guy is a rare goaltender. You see the saves that he makes, especially this regular season. This guy was out of this world, unbelievable in certain games. He was just saving pucks that I thought it was not even possible to make saves like that. So definitely had to have him in here because just an unbelievable goaltender. So the next list that I'm going to be looking at is the epic list right here, the epic tier I should say. And again, it's getting better. All these players are getting a little bit better in my opinion. So we got a guy like Claude Giroux who led the Flyers this year, put up a ton of points. He is an epic style of player. When you have Giroux on the ice, he's going to get something done, much like the epic items in the game. You know, you're going to rely on a guy like Giroux and you're going to rely on your epic items in Fortnite. So I think that Giroux is a good player to have in this epic tier. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I really like the guy. I think that he is a great captain and a great player in the NHL. Then you got a guy like Kucherov. This guy is just lights out. He will score whenever he wants to, basically. He puts up points, he gets a bunch of goals, and that's what you want. You know, in Fortnite, you're trying to get those kills, basically. You're trying to move on. You're trying to win games. And I think Kucherov is a crafty, you know, type of guy, much like the epic items in Fortnite. You know, they work differently, and I think Kucherov works differently, so I got to put him there. And that's the same kind of mentality I had with Yevgeny Malkin. He's got these crazy moves. He's got all these different types of trick shots and everything that you can use differently. And I think that Malkin basically is an epic player. I think that you want a guy like Malkin on the ice with the game on the line. You want him out there because you know that he's going to get it done, and that's like the epic items. Then you got Drew Doughty, and he's epic because he hits hard, he can score, he can defend, he does everything. He's a great leader, and I think he's perfect for the epic tier. That's the kind of thing like in Fortnite. These epic items, they just do wonders. They, you know, you can do trick shots, you know, you get, you know, maybe better accuracy, you have better chances to win games, and I think that with Drew Doughty on the ice, you have a better chance to win the game, and that's like the goaltender too. Connor Hellebuck. This guy this year was unbelievable. He was one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, why the Winnipeg Jets were so good this year. And that's like me in Fortnite, or anybody like in Fortnite. You got these epic guns. Maybe you're not the best player, but you got you got something reliable there in your tools or your kit, whatever. I'm so dumb when it comes to Fortnite. You know, I play so much, so much. I guess most people play a little bit more, but even though I play so much, I still don't know all the lingo in the game. A lot of people will tell you I'm just bad. Oh my God, I'm going to keep going back to that. But Connor Hellebuck is good at hockey, and I think that he's definitely an epic goaltender. So the last tier that I'm going to be talking about is the legendary tier. And as you can see, you've got some legends there and some legends in the making. I think that this makes a lot of sense. I'm not sure why I swapped. I think I had the goalies all in one spot except for in this one. Anyways, that doesn't matter. But Sidney Crosby is a legend, a future Hall of Famer. This guy just scores. He puts up points. He's legendary. In Fortnite, when you got those legendary guns, you're OP. You're definitely going to be a winner. And when you got Sidney Crosby on the ice, that's OP. You're overpowered. You're gonna win. You've got a legend on the ice. And that's like the guy right beside him, Mr. Cup Final himself. Yeah, just this year, I know. But Alexander Ovechkin, he is a legend as well. He is going to be, if not one of the best scorers of all time. He might be the best scorer of all time. He's a future Hall of Famer. I think that he's an underrated leader. And when you've got him, he's going to get it done. And that's why he's got to be in the legendary category. He is a legend. And then we've got a future legend, Connor McDavid. He's got it all, much like the legendary items in Fortnite. He's got speed. He's got skill. He's got everything going behind him. He's going to be a cup champion. I know the Oilers are in a tough spot, but much like when you have legendary items in Fortnite, you've probably got a good chance to win. When you've got Connor McDavid, you've got a great chance to win. So he had to be in the legendary spot. I might as well just go with the goalie next because I have him in that next category here. Again, I don't know why I swapped this one. I think this might have been the first one I made too. But Pekka Rinne, this past season was godlike. He was putting up great numbers. I know Nashville's a great team, but he had a good save percentage and he had a good goals against average. He led in a lot of categories. And much like with Fortnite, you want to have a legendary item with you because you know you need to win and you need to have that Mr. Reliable gun or whatever item. And you've got Mr. Reliable in net, Pecorine. The playoffs weren't too great to him, but you know what? This regular season, he was fantastic. I have to have him in the legendary item. And then we have, for the defenseman spot, the last player I'm going to talk about is Hedman from Tampa Bay. This guy just gets it done. He's a leader on the ice. He's a leader off the ice, from everything we've heard. He's a great defenseman. He hits, he scores, he does whatever you want in a defenseman, much like Drew Doughty. And he's a legend in the making in my eyes. This guy is helping Tampa Bay be one of the best teams I've ever seen, even though they're not in the final where they should be, to be honest with you. But I do like the Capitals anyways, go Ovi. But the Tampa Bay Lightning, it was kind of like Stanley Cup or bust for them, much like a lot of great contending teams. But I think that Hedman is at the forefront of why they are such a good team, and that's why I had to have them in the legendary category. So let me know what you guys think about this video. It is very different. It might be too long for some people, but I thought it would be really cool to make this video. Fortnite, I know maybe it's not everybody's favorite game, but I really like it, even though I'm bad at it. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video. Like the video if you're new, and subscribe if you're new, because I'd love to have more hockey conversations with you. Let's get to 3,000 subscribers. If you're big on Fortnite, like my guy, Audie James, make sure you go and subscribe to his channel as well. He's another hockey guy, but he does some Fortnite videos as well. So I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.